Jen here, Channel Baker, and today I'm here with my dear friend Marina. I should say she was my food psychologist at first, and we've kind of blossomed over the years, right?
Yes, it's been 3 years maybe?
Yeah,
3.5?
yeah. I was gonna say I think we're going on to 4 years
Almost
now,
4,
right?
yes.
Beautiful thing. So I'm here. I want to kind of introduce you, Marina, what she does and her light and purpose here in this world. She's doing some really cool things. So I just kind of want to shine some light on that. So Marina, kind of give us a little bit of introduction. First, I gotta talk about Marina. Came to me through my sister Michelle, who owns a Pilates yoga studio in the Jackson community. And she told me she was bringing on this lady that talks about food and helps people with food. And I was kind of like, yeah, okay. Fast forward months later, I ended up booking Marina, and she has helped me through my food journey, a better understanding, being gentle with myself, and obviously it's a journey, so
Never ending.
but I've always kind of connected with her. And now, kind of tell us about what you do. Like, honestly, I know the food psychology part of it. Introduce to the people who are not familiar with what exactly is that all?
Yes, I get that question all the time. What is an eating psychology coach? So, just a little background. I grew up with some. Oops.
Sorry, I had to fix your mic.
I grew up, at the age of 13, feeling some. I had some food and body challenges. I started dieting. I started, going back and forth between dieting and overeating and binging, and I was never happy with my body. I had very poor body image. So I did this for almost 30 years, and at the age of 40, I decided I'm exhausted. I cannot do this one single more day. I'm done. And so I started doing some research. I came across the Institute for the Psychology of Eating, and I was honestly going to take the training for myself to help myself. 2 weeks into it, I decided, okay, I have to share this. I have to help other women do this. Be at peace in their bodies and feel like food is not their enemy. So I started. You were my first client.
Which, side note, I didn't know any of this until towards our end of it was over a year.
Yes.
Kind of dove into that a little more, so that's a fun fact.
Yes, first client and first video client, which was also different because it was way pre-COVID, so it wasn't a thing.
That's right.
So I was very nervous, and you kind of, put me at ease. I gained my confidence, so it was, you hold a very special, very dear place in my whole journey. So, yes.
It's to mine as well, because that was a really big transition for myself that I was starting.
Yes.
So I think it was beautiful how it happened for both of us. And we were both kind of subconsciously aware of it at the time.
Right. Right. So, yeah, I mean, our paths crossed, and it couldn't have been more beautiful, perfect. So yeah, what do eating psychology coaches do? Well, we help not just, I wouldn't tell you, okay, this is what you need to eat, this is how much you need to exercise. We go deeper. We go into the reasons why we do what we do with food, the reasons behind all of it. So it could be emotional reasons. A lot of people come to me and say, well, I'm an emotional eater. And one of the things we delve into is, what unmet needs do you have? And we try to solve those, because those are the cause for us reaching for food. So, for example, we eat when we're tired, we eat when we're sad, we eat when there's nothing exciting going on in our life.
I have to agree with that one, because that was you pointed that out for me. And you pointed out, I go to chocolate when I felt like I wanted my emotional needs fulfilled.
Yep.
And you pointed out that I went to the chips and the saltiness.
Something crunchy.
Yep. For when my anxiety was being triggered.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's real truth, guys.
Yes. So another thing I help my clients with is understanding the mind of the eater, the brain. And to me, this is fascinating because we think that, we have all these good intentions and then it doesn't happen. And we think, oh my gosh, I just have no willpower, or I don't have enough discipline. And in reality, it's something that's happening in the brain. And once we understand it and explain it, it's like this weight lifted off. It's,
Yeah.
so that's another big topic that we touch on during sessions. Another thing is learning how to love ourselves and accept our bodies, because it's easier to take care of something that we like and that we're not fighting or at war with, right?
That's so true. Again, that reminds me of when you had me do mirror work.
That's one of the toughest things.
And that was so uncomfortable. I did it, but
it was uncomfortable, but it helped, right? Yeah. So what else do we? Well, we talk about unmet needs. We talk about that that mean voice in our head, and we do a lot of work around that. And now I've finally introduced a little bit of more of the piece, the body piece with blood glucose and regulating that, because I can try to help a client to slow down with food or enjoy their food. But if my client has terrible cravings or out of control hunger, it's really hard to implement that. So that's the other piece that I've been working on lately, and I'm very excited about, because it's more of a well-rounded approach now. So.
Yeah, I would agree that sometimes, yes, we have all this information, but how do we, if we don't do our own research, it's like, how do you make it happen?
Right. So yeah, that's in a nutshell kind of what I do, and I love it. I've been doing it, almost 4 years, 3.5, almost 4, and it just gets better and better.
I think it's really cool in the journey too, as kind of like how I'm kind of dabbling in the spiritual food properties of, how it shows up in food and what it brings. I think it's really cool how you've been able to kind of pinpoint the emotional side, like how it really can align. But I think that also we got to also acknowledge that allowing us to be able to feel it,
right?
To acknowledge it,
right? Absolutely. One of the things that happens is none of us, or very few of us, were taught how to feel our feelings. So what happens is I see this especially in women. So many of us take care of everyone else, everything else, and we don't have time or energy to take care of ourselves. So what do? It's a very smart strategy. We take care of ourselves with food.
I'm guilty of that,
right?
100%.
We all do that, and that has negative consequences later on if we keep doing. If food is our only coping mechanism. But in a way, it's a good strategy. It just doesn't serve us long term, right?
Yes.
So yes, I see that a lot, and that's why I try to pinpoint, and with my clients, we try to pinpoint together what are those unmet needs that you have, and how can we solve them? How can we fulfill them without food?
Do you find you are having a good response to the women that are partaking of your services? Because you also do groups too.
I do groups, and that's a really great experience that I've just recently. I'm on my 3rd group, and I feel like we heal in community. So that's always very helpful to just hear that someone has this experience, or we're not alone, and it's not just us. We're not broken. There's nothing wrong with us. It's pretty much a common experience, and once we talk about it, and once we hear other people talk about it or share about it, it's easier.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, okay, I'm not the only one. So that's very helpful. But yes, I see clients who I haven't seen in a long time, and they tell me, oh, you did this for me, or your work together did this for me, and it's always good to hear. It's always good to say, because what I do sometimes is just plant seeds.
Yeah.
And those seeds may not germinate right then, but maybe later on, with time, everything has their right time. And sometimes it's not the right time. So I'm going to plant that seed and let it go, right? So
It's like manifestation.
right,
You're
right.
planning it and
Yeah.
keep it moving, right?
Yes, yes. And at first, when I first started out, I kept thinking, oh, this didn't work. And then later on, I'd find, I'd see a client somewhere and remember what you told me about, and I'm like, wow.
Validation, right?
Yes, and it's amazing. It's an amazing thing. So
I love it. Just food has always been an uncomfortable thing for me because I've always been self-conscious, and I've dealt with food in an emotional manner, right? And I remember coming to you thinking I had a problem with food, and you're like, no, 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 no.
no,
This is very simple. You eat with your emotions. Like you're not allowing yourself that space to feel it.
Right.
And you really introduced me to that, like understanding. All right, this is what I'm feeling right now. And yes, my food does trump because that's just the behavioral pattern in my neural ways in my brain. But there is an awareness now where if I never had it before.
right. I always say before starting my training, this wasn't a thing, but after my training, what I realized and what I was taught, and it was a light bulb moment for me, was that our food challenges, our body challenges, are not really problems. They're not issues. They're doorways into something deeper, something that lays beyond that. And we have to just dig a little. There's always this example that I love to give. I tell my clients, if you have challenges with food or body, think of those challenges as in your garden. They're the weeds, right? If I tell you, okay, don't eat this, eat this, and exercise this much, what's going to happen is it's like cutting the weed above surface. The weed's going to come back.
Yeah, for sure.
What we need to do is dig a little deeper and see what's at the root of that challenge, because there are always brilliant reasons behind everything we do with food or don't do.
I think food in general is like the universal for so many things, for so many cultures too. Like it's not just, oh, this is only an American thing. No, this is like global.
Everywhere. It's global.
Yes.
It's our common, yes.
And that's
it's
why
our
I wanted to
common
highlight
theme.
you. Like
Yes.
the power and the impact that you're having, but only for like women too, to be able to connect and allow us women to be vulnerable in a safe, sacred space.
Yeah. I think that's what we need to realize, that, this is not an issue. This is not a problem. We're not broken. There's nothing wrong with us. And from there, see it as an opportunity to say, okay, what needs my attention? What's calling for my, total attention? Sometimes it can be, there's nothing fun in your life, so food becomes the thing that you look forward to. Maybe you were craving love or some understanding or attention, and food in a way gives us that. It doesn't question us. It doesn't demand anything from us. It's easy, and it makes us feel good, at least temporarily.
Yeah.
So food can be an amazing friend when we're lonely. It's there, right? It makes us feel.
It gives us a hug.
It gives us a hug. Yes. Exactly.
Which, by the way, the apple pie is known for giving a hug within. It's a lot of the ingredients in the apple pie. So I have to give a little shout out to the apple pie.
A lot of the baking properties, emotional properties. You talk about the spiritual ones. I talk about a little bit about the emotional ones. And some of the things about baking and baked goods is that they make us feel hugged. They make us feel reassured. They make us feel, when we are craving simplicity and going back to easier times when maybe there wasn't as much responsibility on our shoulders, we want to bake. That even just the smell of baking bread or anything that you bake makes you feel better. So it is that food interpretation piece is really, really interesting to me. And I think it's helpful. Like you said, it was a light bulb moment for you years ago, and you still remember it.
Yeah. It's so true.
So, yeah.
Okay, so today I told you I wanted to allow you to kind of like talk with your guys, be open, think of something that you felt inspired to talk about, And side note, she was kind of uncomfortable.
That wasn't fun.
But part of the assignment that I really want to bring awakening to is understanding, like, just because I'm a medium does not mean that I'm the only one that has access. I really want to kind of show, like, someone else that's tapped in with themselves, and just understanding and hearing that message when you're quiet. So you sat with it and made you uncomfortable, and then what happened?
So first thing Jen says is this, and I'm like, first thing that happens, like, Jen, the survival part of my brain is freaking out. I don't like this. And then I brought in my rational part of my brain, and I thought, okay, I trust Jen. I trust what she says. I'm going to let this just sit there. And this morning, as I was coming here, this quote that I really, really like popped in my head. We're all just walking each other home. This quote is by Ram Dass.
I love this.
And I thought, it's kind of this circle where Jen was my first client when I wasn't feeling like super confident as a coach. I wasn't feeling confident on video.
You couldn't notice that, by the way.
Well, I did a lot of breathing before. And now here I am as a guest on your new adventure, on your new journey. So I feel like in these big pivotal moments in our lives, we kind of walked each other home. And I really like that. And I thank you for that.
I appreciate you in that. And that just goes to say that when people enter our lives, I thought at the moment, okay, she's just going to help me with my food psychology. She's going to help me with my food journey. And that was it. But it wasn't.
So much more. No, we've done that for each other. I mean, we've been great for each other. It's been a beautiful thing, and I hope it continues until we're old and gray and 95. That would be wonderful.
Yes, I love that. And I have to say thank you for being open to do this with me.
Thank you for challenging me. I
didn't think it was a challenge, but you showed up, and I appreciate it. And I wanted to just show a piece of my world that was highlighted in a beautiful way, that you've guided me. And I felt these are the people I want to highlight. These are the people that are doing something in this world that are making an imprint. So thank you for showing up.
No problem. And
for all of us.
Yeah, and likewise. I mean, the work you do is amazing work, and I can't wait to see more. I'm so excited.
We're a team, so there's going to be more stuff to come. So we'll see.
Sounds great. Sounds great.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right, guys, stay tuned for more to come. Have a great day.